All right. On the other side, we also know that the ED crackdown is also happening extensively on the Gandhi family of the Congress. While the Congress has hit the streets today, we saw trouble mounting for Rahul Gandhi and Sonia Gandhi in the National Herald corruption case, which the ED is now probing into, some financial irregularities. They're also looking at some Hawala transactions, which is now in the latest under scanner. ED sources have exclusively told India Today that during this investigation in the National Herald case, none of the Congress netas that were questioned have been able to really prove all of the financial decisions were indeed taken by late Motilal Vora. In fact, Rahul Gandhi, Sonia Gandhi, Mallikarjun Kharge, a few other leaders were also probed and they were questioned. And all of their statements remain the same, that all financial transactions with regards to Young Indian was handled by late Congress Treasury Motilal Vora. In fact, during the course of the investigation, ED has come across several shell companies as well. And according to the sources, ED has found some suspicious entries in account books which they're not able to verify or explain. ED now continuing its raids across 13 locations in India, including Delhi, Kolkata and Lucknow. I'm going to quickly now cut across to a few observations here by the Enforcement Directorate as we see that the ED now is probing into financial irregularities that the Young Indian Limited, which the owners is Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi, may be involved in. Now, of course, at this point, we know that both the Gandhis and extensively all the others who've been probed have said and maintained that they have no idea of all the financial transactions. It was Motilal Vora who handled it. We're looking at the CEO, Mallikarjun Kharge of Young Indian Limited. He's been probed for he was grilled for almost 7 hours. And post that, we see that account books of the National Herald and the Congress has been confiscated to try and see how the transaction has happened of close to about 90 crores that was loaned off to AJL. How did that happen without anything established in those account books? And then we're also looking at Hawala transactions through shell companies which the ED is now probing into. And very suspicious transaction here from one of the shell companies called Dotex Merchandise Private Limited. 1 crore rupees was given to Young Indian Limited. And that transaction from that shell company to Young Indian is currently being probed. And then, like I mentioned, the 90 crore loan that came from the Congress party to AJL, which is a publisher of the National Herald newspaper, that's also under lens because that does not really add up in their account books. Congress leaders, including Sonia Gandhi, Rahul Gandhi, along with a few other leaders like Mallikarjun Kharge, have been grilled. All of them have maintained the same, that late Motilal Vora handled all of those transactions. In fact, what we know now is that the Enforcement Directorate, who's right now probing this, has asked for some kind of proof on whether indeed Motilal Vora signed on any of the documents that showed that he indeed was the one responsible for all those financial trails. In fact, they're so far unable to prove or produce any documents with Motilal Vora's signatures. No proof on any of the board meetings that happened because that's the natural instinct. If at all there is a transaction of close to 90 crores from a Congress party to a private company, then at least there is a board meeting that happens, a minute book that is usually kept. None of that is present as proof for the ED to or for the accused here to corroborate their claims. The raids currently is on across 13 locations related to all Hawala transactions across various shell companies now under scanner. So we know now extensively that the ED may have something substantial for them to go after the Gandhis.